A €1.7 billion defence spending plan has been announced by the government to improve defence capabilities across land, air, maritime and cyber domains. The plan, which will run until 2030, aims to speed up the modernisation of the defence forces. Minister for Foreign Affairs and Defence Helen McEntee said it shows a determination to strengthen the state's defences in light of the changed geopolitical environment since Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Ireland's security vulnerability was laid bare earlier this month when rogue drones were spotted in Dublin Bay as the Ukrainian president arrived. Today, Defence Minister Helen McEntee visited the Defence Forces training camp at the Curragh to set out a big hike in spending after years of underinvestment.
It is absolutely essential that we continue to increase our funding, our spending and our focus on the Defence Forces. We all know the changing environment and world that we live in. We know the type of changing threats that are there and that are emerging.
A military radar system will be fully rolled out by 2028, but the first phase of anti-drone technology will be in place by next summer, just ahead of a critical time for Ireland as it holds the presidency of the EU Council. The Air Corps will get 4 new military helicopters, along with the acquisition of super medium helicopters. And the Naval Service will get sonar capability to monitor activities next to important subsea cables.
Additional capital spending is welcome, but it's necessary because it's a neglect of successive governments of the Defence Forces. We've more people left the Defence Forces and joined it in the last 5 years. And a lot of what's being announced is things that were already announced and things that were already meant to be implemented.
A further $400 million will be invested in infrastructure, including accommodation, offices, gyms and aircraft hangars. But some have criticised the move.
The government are just going along with an agenda that's being pushed by the big military powers in Europe, in NATO and by Donald Trump for bigger military expenditure. Billions to go into arms and weapons.
The government is moving to address a chronic underinvestment in defence, but this comes nearly 4 years after a landmark report on the future of the Defence Forces. Sandra Hurley, RTE News, Leinster House.
A new report has found Ireland's security environment is at its most complex and dangerous point in recent history. The study by the Institute of International and European Affairs and Deloitte Ireland warns that our global economic profile makes Ireland a high-value target and that foreign intelligence services are actively targeting companies here.
The White Paper found Ireland faces escalating hybrid and geopolitical threats with key infrastructure risks, including possible attacks on the electricity grid, gas pipelines and electricity interconnectors.
Energy is critical to our way of life in Ireland and its resilience and defence is vital. A secure and resilient system will see us importing less fossil fuels, storing more fuels, both fuel and electricity, and also generating more renewable energy from the resources that we have available in Ireland.
With around 3/4 of all North Atlantic subsea cables passing near or through Irish waters, the report said there's a risk of sabotage. Concerns also raised that Dublin Port represents a significant single point of failure in the national supply chain. An adverse event there could hit food stocks within 3 days.
The nature of risk hasn't been experienced before. Every European country is grappling with their own context but with the same problems and challenges. One thing that is really important to note, Ireland's geography, obviously an island behind an island, the threat perception here is different than other countries. If you go to Berlin or to Brussels or to Bucharest for that matter, the closer you get to conflict, there's a greater sense of urgency in those places.
The paper also found that almost 90% of Irish companies have suffered financial loss or operational disruption due to cyber attacks, with many dealing with certain state-backed activity, not just cybercrime. The paper recommends speeding up the development of an overarching national security strategy, enhancing capabilities at government level and increasing public awareness about the types of threats that Ireland now faces. Eleanor Byrnehill, RTE News at Collins Barracks in Dublin.
Well, our political correspondent Micheál Lehane joins us now for more on this. And Micheál, what are the next steps then politically in terms of reshaping the state's security policy?
I think in some ways, Vivian, today was the easy bit for the government, the big announcement around funding. But crucially, the test will be, will things like that anti-drone technology be in place by next summer? Will the skilled people be there to man it? They are some of the questions that are being asked this evening. I think too, apart from big capital expenditure, there remains ongoing issues around retaining people in the Defence Forces, which could suggest a need for more spending on the current side. That is something that the opposition will press for, and they are seeking other things too. Labour's spokesperson in this area, Duncan Smith, said that there has to be a publication of the state's national security policy. He said it's something that has been called for months now, and also that the Oireachtas committee here, that on paper at least is tasked with overseeing these things, should get more powers to be able to hear from experts in the field and those in charge of national security to essentially hold the strategy to account. I think as all this is unfolding today, in some ways the changed geopolitical environment is illustrated in clear terms this evening with the Taoiseach Micheál Martin participating in a video meeting of the Coalition of the Willing, which was chaired by the British Prime Minister, the French President and the German Chancellor. Now, speaking afterwards, Micheál Martin again pledged Ireland's lasting support for Ukraine to find a just peace. But he said in relation to security that what's happening amid those ongoing diplomatic efforts to find peace in Ukraine is crucial for Europe's security future. And he said it's important, therefore, that EU members like Ireland are involved in shaping the final outcome.
Micheál, thank you.